Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast in a game between EG's Idra versus 6jack's DDE here on Metalopolis. 6jack's DDE spawning as the blue Terran player at the 7 or 6 o'clock position on the south side of the map. Meanwhile, this is the Metalopolis version of the map, so EG Idra spawning as the green Zerg here at the 1 o'clock position, quickly making his way out with this Overlord. Now, if you guys do not know very much about Metalopolis, one of those maps that are still part of the Blizzard map pool and perhaps considered one of the most well-balanced maps coming out from Blizzard for quite some time. And as long as it is going to be a cross spawn, and then MLG and Metalopolis does always force that you cannot have an ally spawn here, so we'll see how these players react and respawn. Idra will quickly make his way with this Overlord and quickly find that 6jack's DDE has not come in from this direction, and he knows where exactly to scout with this one particular drone. Meanwhile, DDE will be setting up a barracks in just a moment as well. Idra currently seen on 13/18, being able to drone up a little bit more effectively, now getting up into 12/12 harvesters compared to 11, but that will quickly fall as drones are necessary in order to build a building. You kind of sacrifice a drone in part of the Zerg army, but then again, all of you guys who are watching my cast pretty much know everything there is to know about StarCraft, right? Anyways, barracks currently coming or being built here. I'm curious as to what 6jacks will be going for. He is not going for a fast double racks pressure, as he does have a refinery, so he may be going for some Hellions. Now back by Idra. Idra is getting on hatchery first here on Metalopolis, pretty much safe in knowing that because the Overlord scouted out this position here, Marines will have a very, very long distance to try to travel in between these two bases. We are going to get one Marine trained up already, as we are teching into an orbital command as an SCV now making his way out. You can see DDE already preparing to place down a tech lab here, or perhaps even a reactor. We'll see what he's going to be going for, as we now have the hatchery about halfway completed and the spawning pool has been started. DDE should be able to train up some more SCVs. He will not be supply locked, as the supply depot will complete in just a moment, and then with 2 Marines he should be able to intercept any drones that try to come up that ramp. Back over here, we are going into a factory, so this may become a double a Hellion push here, as the drone going to try to walk up that ramp, and it's not going to be able to make it up there, as that tech lab now being added on. Okay, so I am absolutely baffled. It is going to be a tech lab and not a reactor, so we'll see what 6jack's DDE tries to go for. He could go for Marine Tank, but he definitely needs another refinery in order to do that. He could try to go for Blue Flame Hellions, but Blue Flame Hellions are rather tech heavy. He does need a lot more gas before he can start the Infernal Pre-Igniter research. As the SCV is still wandering around, you can see that the Marines are looking across the map. This one Overlord here will be able to safely hide, perhaps park itself here, and see when exactly DDE wants to try to establish this expansion. And we are going into Hellions, and with DDE now training up some Hellions, he should be able to get some Blue Flame research in just a moment. No, now going into Starport. Alright, so I have no idea what exactly 6jack's is trying to go for here. This one particular SCV, though, gonna get taken down rather quickly. Four Zerglings already making their way out across the map. There is 1 Hellion and 2 Marines in this combination here, and the Hellion, getting a very nice line of fire across all of those Zerglings, and that was almost a give me there, as the Hellion should be able to get off perhaps 2 more Zergling kills, and yeah, taking down all of those early Zerglings. That will at least force Idra to retrain those Zerglings and not allow him to get as strong as an economy. Every Zergling train is a drone lost. Command center now coming into play as well. We are going into a Banshee, so this was a fast factory into a Banshee, but there was no real reason to get this tech lab, so I'm still a little confused as to what 6jack's really wants to go for. This one Hellion over here will not be able to stick around for very much longer, as we see that there is a spine crawler, and both players are still supply locked or supply blocked at 44/44 and 35/46, finally getting up this one command center here, upgrading it to an orbital command, as Idra now makes his way with this Overlord. He needs to see if an expansion is coming underway. There's still this one Hellion here, and this Hellion, not getting the memo that it needs to run away. Tries to run away, not going to be able to do so. The Hellion is a little bit slower than those Zerglings with that metabolic boost, and now running all the way back. We are going to get... did the Zerglings? No, the Zerglings did not see the Banshee. They perhaps could have seen the Shadow, but we are going to get a supply depot down here as well. There is one siege tank, and the Zerglings now going to try to swarm in as well. Going to get some damage, and no, unable to destroy any of those SCVs. The SCV took up a little bit of damage there, as now a Banshee making its way into the field. We'll see how much damage can be dealt, as the Banshee trying to go toe-to-toe with a queen, and that is always going to be a very difficult battle. You can see the Banshee now trying to get that damage, trying to pull away from this queen as well, trying to maximize it there. This queen already down to 23 hit points. It may get taken down to 1 hit point, and down it goes. So one queen already destroyed. A second or 2 queens are now in production, and oh, DDE getting a little greedy with that one Banshee and just losing it there. That Banshee could have escaped a little bit earlier, perhaps get another set of backlash rockets. But then again, Idra also getting a little bit lucky as well with that natural regeneration on the queen for 1 hit point, requiring 1 additional round of attack to finish it off. This Overlord does see the medevac, or rather, this Zergling sees the medevac here. And we'll see how it is going to respond, as Idra sitting on a 48 Harvester advantage compared to 32. We are getting more siege tanks. We are getting some Marines. Stim pack now being researched, going into a triple Rax build, as the medevac already unloading all of its cargo. The Zerglings are going to try to come in. Banelings are now morphing in the plane, so those Banelings will be able to find their target rather easily, but the Marines are already stimming up, and how much damage can be dealt, that will be the key question, as those Marines are trying to just fight back and shut down this hatchery. The hatchery already down to 400 hit points there. The Marines are fighting, and it looks like the hatchery will get taken, no, not get taken down, as one Marine left behind. Apparently he did not get the memo that he needs to try to fight back, or get into that one medevac there. So 4 Marines inside, down over here. This one hatchery already down to 600 hit points, slowly regenerating more and more, as we will be getting some Banelings over there. So the Banelings looking to splash and get as much damage and just maximize their damage and perhaps take down this hatchery. And oh, once again, getting picked up and dropped off. The queen did not attack the medevac, and that's what it really needed to do there. But this is requiring a lot of micro from DDE, and it doesn't look like it's going to be a true return on his investment, on his time and energy. We're going to get a spawn larva in. The queen now taking a bit of damage as the Mutalisk now come in, and with Mutalisk in the air, this one poor medevac needs to start unloading those Marines. Otherwise, the Mutalisk are just going to have pretty much a free medevac there, as the Marines dropping in here as well. So the Marines dropping in on both sides. Baneling's going to find their target. Down it goes, as I believe, yeah, one Marine was able to get picked up just in time, but 6 jacks. DDE down to 76 food compared to Idra's 100. A lot of units still in production. We are going into an armory now, so perhaps we will have a lot of Thors. So this is going to be 3 racks play. Combat shield now being researched as well. One medevac up on the high ground. It looks like the Marines are ready for a Mutalisk harassment to come in and try to deal some damage. An armory now down over here. A lot of siege tanks on the low ground, but those siege tanks are absolutely not effective at all against those Mutalisks. You can see this one medevac now destroyed, picked out of the sky by those Mutalisks, as Idra now running off of 3 bases. He should be able to transfer some drones in just a moment and now put that pressure and just unload a bunch of the Zerg swarm in just a few more seconds. We currently have the armory in play, but I do not see any Thors being trained. We are getting, oh, there we go, now getting level 1 weapons upgrade on the Thors, and also getting 1 Thor, but 1 Thor will not be able to handle this. There is only 1 missile turret, and that is not really going to be enough. A couple early Marines trying to use that stim pack, able to do so, but unable to catch up to those Mutalisks. Mutalisks still move or slightly faster than even a stimmed Marine. We are going into 2 base double Thor production with a lot of Marines behind it as well. Level 1 weapons upgrade about to be completed, as Idra looking to take his 4th base here at the 9 o'clock location. And 4 base play, Mutalisk now trying to swarm in. They will be able to perhaps get some damage as 1 Thor finally makes its way out. And this may be a problem there, as the Thor is getting off 1 round of attack. And you can see how much damage that those Mutalisks all absorbed. And really nicely done there. The Thor able to get that round of attack at just the right moment. And as a second Thor now joining in, we should be getting another Thor as well, as the Marines are trying to make their way out. The siege tanks will have to be very careful. They need to make sure that they destroy all of those banelings. If they do not take down the banelings, that is going to be an absolute nightmare. There is a couple missile turrets, three missile turrets now in play, so I do not think that those Mutalisks will be able to get that much damage. They've already taken a fair round of attack as well from the Thors, as the Marines are now looking to stim up and move out 7 more banelings in production. And you can see those banelings ready to detonate against their target. Siege tanks are going to siege up now. And will DDE be able to break this line? You can see that the Thors are now making their way in, and now Marines are back over here. The Marines are now trying to pull away. The banelings trying to find their target, unable to do so. The Thors getting cleaned up, though, by the Zerglings, and now the Marines trying to make their way out. Only 1 siege tank left behind, as 3,700 resources lost compared to 2,950. 1 siege tank, once again, needs to unsiege, make its way forward, and try to get more damage. The Marines simply stimming in, going to take down perhaps this hatchery, but the Zerglings now coming in from the back as well. The Marines are trying to split, trying to get all separated, make sure to minimize that splash damage. But it doesn't matter when Idra and the Zerg player has such a large army advantage. 1 Thor trying to run away from Mutalisks. It looks like the Zerglings will be able to pick it off, and the Thor should just turn around and try to get some damage onto those Mutalisks before it gets destroyed. So Idra now running in with the swarm. There are no more banelings now being morphed in here, so Idra taking this opportunity and will be trying to bust down this front door in just a moment. DDE trying to salvage this game, trying to expand now as he is behind in food, 93 to 184. Yeah, always in a difficult situation when your opponent almost doubles you in food, as now the Zerglings and Mutalisks are making another move. The front line doesn't have any siege tanks. SCVs are now going to be transferred over, as well as more and more of the swarm is making their way out. It looks like the Zerglings are going to be coming in just a moment. A siege tank now trying to back off, and that Thor dropping itself just in time. The Mutalisks quickly coming in, using that magic box technique. Down it goes. Banelings are going to be able to find a lot of their targets, as well as there's the GG, as there was not very much that DDE could do to hold on to this game. 191 food versus 70. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 game between Idra and DDE here on Metalopolis. Idra going very crazy with his weapon upgrades. The Glaive Worms dealing 11 damage per attack, so 2-0 upgrades on those Mutalisks.